Hi, what we're going to do is we're going to look at how we can use a trapezoidal method to calculate the area underneath a curve or a function. So first of all, let's have a look at what a trapezium is and the area under a trapezium. So a trapezium has two parallel sides and a perpendicular height. And so the area is calculated by the sum of the two parallel sides multiplied by the height divided by 2. How does this relate to our curves? So if we just turn this sideways, we can see that we can split this curve up. So if we're looking at the shaded area here, into a number of trapeziums. So there's one trapezium there. So instead of calling this the height, the width in these two sections, we're going to call this the width, and our A section is going to be our function of our first x value, which in this case is 1. Our B value is going to be our function of our second x value, which in this case is going to be 2. So what we can do is we can rewrite our rule for our trapezium. Instead of height, we're going to say width equals our function of our first x value plus our function of our second x value. So what we can do is we look at this, we've got a whole series of trapeziums. And each one of these we can calculate using the rule. So the width of these is all the same. Our A and our B values are our functions of our x values. So in the first case, it's our function of 1, our second, our function of 2, our function of 2 repeated again, our function of 3, our function of 3 repeated again, our function of 4, a function of 4 repeated again, and finally our function of 5. So what we can see is the fact that our area can be calculated by our width divided by 2 times our function of our first x value, which in this case is 1, plus our function of our second x value, plus our function of our second x value again, plus our function of our third x value, plus our function of our third x value again, etc. Now, let's look at how we can summarize what this rule is. Because if we look at this, we're going to be able to see that our area is our width divided by 2, or half of our width, multiplied by the sum of our first and last values, which occur once, so our function of x at the beginning and our function of x at the end, or our y values, plus 2 lots at the sum of our middle values. So where E equals the sum of our end values, and M is the sum of our middle values. Now in this situation, let's have a look at how this occurs. So we've got our widths as being a value of 1, and we can plot what each of our function values in to find out the sum of each of those.